Greetings, I am Live.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together.
Yeah!
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so
All right.
we were about to choose in the last one, and we went, you know what, we're out of time, so we are going to do How Did You Meet Them? We're still a little confused, because we really thought she was established as a grandma, but, you know, we're gonna have to check our notes at some place, because I really felt like someone said, that's grandma.
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
Like, I swear.
Okay, so as per our agreement with Nix Hydra, you, if you are new to this, are about to enter custom art area, and we are going to describe the scene without specifically using any of their scripts,
Yes.
as is per the rules.
So, if this is your first time here, this might sound a little odd.
This will be a thing. All right, so here we go. How did you meet them?
I mean, that's the same question.
I know, but we're gonna start right here.
All right, so same question.
I'm gonna inquire after the way you guys got to know each other originally.
So let me know how this party went down.
Yeah, let me know when. In fact, did that thing happen?
So Grandmama is being very entertained.
Yes.
And she flaps at me, or you in this case.
She makes motions
that you should arrest your position
nearby. She indicates
yes
that we should be conspiratorially close.
Okay. Excellent.
And then, not now, but you know, way before now, when I was a lot younger. I can't do this and talk about it. So, when the good grandma here was using her big, vehicle in the water, heading back for home. That is when this tale begins. All right,
back to the end land.
Back to the place that they all called home originally.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So she was headed there, and then there was you know what, she would frequent there like during different seasons to visit someone who lived there, who had a high position in the local town, and she was madly into this other individual. I am.
She adored her.
Yes.
Yes.
So our good grandmama here is expressing adoration for someone also attached to the family in question, who was very important in the town.
Next one.
All right. However, that particular season, when it was warm and the skies were clear, there was...
The associated ones with, beach surfing and combing and like that.
The water, it was not a chill time taking your boat over it, and it was
a
worse
spiky boy
than ever before.
Aha!
It was very choppy out there.
Yes.
In the waves.
In fact, so much more so than Mazelinka could even have fathomed before.
Yep. Could never have even thought of it.
Yes.
All
wow.
Right.
Next.
Then, greatly to her surprise, there was suddenly a change in the weather. It was
dark.
Really
dank.
Intense change in the weather that you could just compare to anatomy of something distasteful.
Of something that is also a tarot card.
Either that or you could just be like, yes! The goat's backside, the storm is like that.
Is that where you'd put that organ?
It's fine.
He's got really, really strong ventricles. Very powerful.
I was just comparing it to something different.
That's fine. Hey, I still got it.
I've got it. It's fine.
I got it.
All right. At any rate, she had never perceived anything like it, either happening that quickly or that sort of nastily.
Yes.
All right. So,
and now we as Nerd,
it comes to
remember
me as Nerd.
Yep.
About that particular happening, though only that we've someone somewhere mentioned about it, probably Astra off in a corner, because that's how we learn most things in our past.
Right.
That just
Astra
someone in a
casually
distance says something, and we go, oh, I have
you
learned that thing.
Oh, by the way, it's storm.
All right, so, and that the whole weather event was
so fantastical,
unexpectedly intense, completely fantastical. Yes. All right, with most likely there was probably rain.
People
there was probably
still
clouds.
Are engaging in discourse about the origins
of this particular event of weather.
Yes.
Yep.
This massive...
So basically what's gone on so far is our good lady who this entire scene is with, which I just imagine we could say her name, but we're going to just troll this real hard.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, is describing that at a time before this, when she was traveling to a location, some badass weather cramped her boating style.
Yeah, pretty hardcore.
That's what we got, okay?
Hardcore.
People are still discussing that event. It was
Yeah.
such a thing. All right. And then she's going to tell us about how...
It was so bad! Plenty of people, in fact, a whole baker's amount, just went and just like hit the bottom of the ocean, man. It's stuck.
Honestly,
like,
they all joined Ariel's
Davy
realm.
joined.
They went down to Davy Crockett. They went Ariel.
Davy
was...
Davy Crockett.
They go down to Davy Jones.
Davy Crockett. We used to know
Down
that song.
to Davy Jones's locker, and then Ariel goes and scavenges all the things.
Yep, that's what happened. So
She's
basically,
like- so
we
she's
had
down
the
there.
start of the Little Mermaid occurred to everyone except Mazelinka.
Yes, that was what went on.
Even
All right.
though, man, it was a
But it was
real
a close,
touch and go.
I'd say it was a real close thing. She nearly joined everyone else.
Yeah, it was
All
there.
right, but then eventually the destination was made. Port was achieved.
Yep.
And she saw that other people had not been as well off as her, especially the vessels they had been within.
Yeah, because fuck the people, am I right?
Well, and then we are going to pay attention to one person because she perceived them. You know what's disappointing about doing it this way? I can't do it in the voices and ad-lib at the same time.
That's fine.
No, but that's just for me, particularly. It's fun to do the voices.
I appreciate
and say the characters' things.
But
But
you know what? I also really like the fact that we don't spend 4 or 5 hours
editing these things?
Yeah.
It's true. It's a long process, and our program is very slow. All right. So then she perceives an individual who's staggering along the sand towards the town. And who do you... and then... What person might that be?
And take a guess, take a gander, take a wild hair out of your ass and figure out who it was.
It was the person, I'm quite sure, that she had mentioned earlier. Though she doesn't actually specify. She just tapers off.
Of course, we notice that other people who are engaged out in the surf have paused in their extravagant play. And they're just like, dude.
They're like, wait,
story time. Story time.
Both of our damp companions.
He could not escape the demon.
come forth to listen to this story.
Aha!
And then she continues that...
And she finally acknowledges them.
Those individuals were also involved in this grand event we are describing, where she embarked upon a journey to arrive at a location while going across the big water, and then the weather made it no good.
Ah, no good.
No bueno. All right?
No hopscotch.
You know what? Theoretically, we could just say all of this in another language, and we would be Gucci. But we are not bilingual.
That would be so freaking sassy.
That would be hilarious, and I would love it.
Wow.
We would fit with our terms and conditions. All right. So then she includes the two individuals that have now come over, listening, going, yes, I was there too, me too.
Right?
All
Except
right.
for the fact that, of course, smaller, lovely head servant lady pops in and goes, oh, you know, that's not really possible because, alas, I was a wee lass at the time, and my memory was just wiped off into the abyss because it was too tiny.
Since I was so small that I can't confirm the facts you're relaying, it didn't happen.
Yeah, pretty much. I got nothing.
Nothing. And then you have the taller one, Mr. Toothpick himself, coming in and being like, yeah, I do remember some of this, and it was definitely no good.
And it sucked. It was really bad because that particular hulk of matchsticks that used to be a boat contained all that was family, and now it is gone.
Except for none of the people were lost.
Yeah.
So the people all made it, but nothing else.
Well, it doesn't say that. It says It says that.
Oh, it says that.
No.
Wait a second. I misread it.
You totally misread.
They lost a whole bunch of people.
They lost everything.
Wow.
But in the end, you know what we had? We had small red hair and tall red hair, and that's all that was left. And bandy red hair.
Oh, and grandmama.
And grandmama.
And not grandmama.
But not grandmama, basically. Like, you were over there though on your own ship.
Right. So, yeah, so what happens is that we've got two boats coming up together. One of them one of them that wrecked first, or that crashed first. And then we got our good individual telling the story who showed up second and was like, damn, there's a lot of death and destruction over there, but 3 figures remain.
You mean 2?
Well,
because
there's
just 2.
Tall
toothpick and then there's little soft and squishy.
Is it just the 2? I think I'm
just
misinterpreting part of the story. It's okay. Anyway, there's 2 of them. All right. Then Tall One decides to toss their siblings' hair.
Decides to ruin what hairdo she made.
That's true, bye.
And then she probably elbows him in the groin because that's about as tall as she is.
That's true. And then she slaps back.
And then she smack back. I says, aye.
Ah, there we go. So it was just the 2 chibis.
And then lovely grandmama here goes, and then I brought the children's to the love of my life.
I took them.
Yep.
To the individual.
Oh, I didn't even know. I wasn't even looking.
You have to look at the words or you can't not use them. You're too good.
I'm too good.
You're too familiar with their writing style.
Aye.
Anyway, to the individual that she was coming to visit.
Yep.
And then the majestic experience of meteorological surprise finally went away. And
everything returned to normal. That was it. There was nothing about her needing to go get her supplies, fixing her ship.
Nope.
None
Then
of that.
she just left again.
Mazelinka just fought. She's like, we got it. Here you go, honey.
I came
enjoy 2 children that I don't want. But I'll be back later to bone you.
I came to see you, love of my life. But all I'm going to do is drop some orphans on you and leave.
Aha!
That's what the story is.
Yes, pretty much.
So then I didn't, in fact, visit with the love of my life.
We adopted. Congratulations, your mom.
I just gifted. Love of your life doesn't mean you were involved. It does not say that.
Oh.
Just because you are deeply in love with someone does not mean they are also your partner.
I mean, from the earlier stuff, it said that they were.
But so only if she was grandma. I don't know.
Well, that's what they said. So this is why, again, we're confused, because
so you're now adopted grandma, and we somehow understood you were adopted grandma when we were told you were grandma, and now we're finding out what age you adopted them at?
But that's also really weird, because then wouldn't they just be mom and mom? They wouldn't be grandma?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Except for unless Julian, stubborn as he is, was basically like, I remember mom because I'm just old enough. Therefore, you are not mom. And they don't go, well, I knew
And he kept correcting Portia aggressively.
All the time.
That's not mom.
That's not mom.
That's not mom.
I'm like, she doesn't even look old enough to really be grandma to them. Unless she started quite young. Honestly, well, she could have. But I mean, theoretically, I adopted you guys very young. And going...
Yeah, but he's also
But he's like,
older.
grandma! And I'm like, okay, I guess.
I don't even know how old
All right, anyway, so then she returned to the great water. Immediately.
The great soup.
She yeeted the 2 children as the love of her life and then got back to the water with her.
And of course now Stickman has to be like, yes, they became grandparents. That is all they were, and that is all they will ever be. And then
he looked up at these adults and went, since I don't love you like my parents, you look old as shit.
Fuckers!
Therefore, grandmas, you are both of them in the prime of their lives lking beautiful. What?
Excuse me?
Hello, grandma! That's what this memory is.
That's exactly what that sounds like. That's really insulting. Except for the fact that he's also talking about there was a huge collective of tiny babies, apparently, that they were all babies, including him.
Actually.
And going, all babies, we were all...
So there's an orphanage, basically, run by your nanas.
Yeah.
Except for we don't know that these 2 actually were nanas at all. So what happened was, I drop you off with the love of my life. And then she takes you to the local orphanage, and it is beautiful.
I suppose.
I think that's basically what we got. And then, raised by a village. Because as with a small village of chibis.
Except for the fact that apparently it was just, the dose of them.
I guess. So anyways... yep, still though.
See, and he's just like, I told you!
Like, the only thing he can call her is Nana!
There's
Baba!
Baba! He just called her
Gran.
Babushka! Hello, Babushka! I gotta tell you, you are quite a babush.
Once again, just them going like, we are beautiful, we're in the prime of our life, we are amazing, we are power couple.
Babushka!
And he's like, yeah, odd ladies! And they're both like,
your voice hasn't even cracked yet, you little shit. Shut up.
You bitch. I may have saved your life from when you came up sputtering from the sea onto the shore. All right? Anyway, so then they are honorary family members.
Great.
All right? And then...
Mazelinka explains that when she got tired or she was just whooping back around because that was a part of her shift, a part of her trail.
The way she ran her business on the sea...
Yep.
She'd come back every now... She'd visit every now and again.
Yep.
And just be like, hey, look! There's the gaggle of all of the chillins.
Every 30 days.
Every 2.5 fortnights.
God, this is so bad.
Oh, maybe it's 3.5 fortnights. I'm sorry. Anyway, all right. So, and then so that would be when she would return.
And she would take her eyeballs and she would gaze upon them and go, "Oh, you're still alive, fuck. Well, I haven't killed them hard enough, goodbye."
On the other hand, going, I come back to see her, she, the woman of my dreams. And then go, those two still kicking around in that group of orphans? Looks like they're, hello, you bastards.
Yeah, come over here, I'll beat your head.
Oh, lady.
The woman. Oh my God.
Anyway. So our good Julian here was...
He's reminiscing how joyful he was upon seeing, basically...
surrogate Baba.
I'd seen Baba's beautiful, beautiful vessel that had extensive, long, black curtains.
Yes! Darkly coloured ebon curtains to catch the wind.
Ebony dementia ring.
It's okay. You got it. Like, we're just gonna make it prettier synonyms. Be like the deep ebon
onyx
sheets that caught the wind.
Yes, that drove the vessel onward.
Yes.
And they would bring both her and lots of little goodies for all the children because apparently she was secretly Santa Claus.
Because she was also centigram.
Centigram. Mazelinka, I will beat you. I am not that old.
I am not that old.
You're really old. It's okay,
so
Grandma.
old. I will kick your tiny ass.
I will. It really is this big. I
right.
can hold it in the palm of my hand.
And then...
Stop insulting my little body.
And then... I do my best with my booty, okay?
I gotta tell you, it's not that small. I can hold it in my hand. It's not...
Nobody ever needs to take pants out for you ever. They never don't fit at the back of the waist. You always have bagging in your seat.
I mean, so mean. It's fine. This is actually just really funny. Okay.
All right. So then, Mazelinka explains that the
these
young
two
people
little
that were
bitches-
acquired, that basically are called bitches, the two shenanigan-inclined individuals, wanted to join her in her venture of, going about in the great floating wood container.
Yeah, and going and thieving from people and committing murder and whatever else, and also,
breaking all the laws. They were very
laws.
interested in breaking the laws and learning, like, buccaneering, but the illegal kind, and stealing stuff, and getting away from taxes and under the eye of any, corrective, institutions.
Yep.
And they thought this would be great fun.
Which is totally fine, because sometimes, you know what, fuck those people. Those were run by some assholes. It's okay. And then
finally, Pasha, remember?
Tiny little bandana woman pops up and is like, "Oh, a recollecting I do have."
Let me recap a thing you had told me.
That I recall in conjunction with the thing that has inspired me by your words.
You will not tell me anything that you are thinking about that happened back then, because you were so small.
You are a short-ass little wench.
And you know what? There was no way I was going to let you do anything, because you could not get to any of it with your little hands and your small arms.
And you know what? That never changed, because you are too small. But your brother, on the other hand, man, he is like a tree.
Yes, do you know that every single other person that I hire on my boat, they're all about twice my height? That is the only way to work.
A scarecrow.
Yeah.
He just kept elevating. We put him on a bigger and bigger pole.
Neither you nor I could work anything on that floating, beautiful, arrangement of wood. Only the tall folks. Because we can't custom make these things,
We can't. We never did. Even if it was my ship, I was shit out of luck.
Yep, no, I just bought it stock from the factory. It's fine. However, there was then an experience where everybody, both of the little short chibis with the fluffy red hair, decided to hassle Mazelinka, and she would regale us with the words they were using, because they went, well, if we can't be that thing that is an illegal buccaneer out there on the great water, you can at least teach us how to kick some ass.
Yes, I want to be a badass and kick his ass into the ocean.
Into the ocean, yes!
Yeet!
Tiny one, I will murder him.
Yes!
The taller one, oh God.
You're can't do that, Portia.
way.
You'll swing and miss.
Tips him over the edge. I've got your center of gravity. Pap!
I know exactly where it is. And it's not where you think it is.
Oh, yay!
Alright, and then,
Anyway,
and
so
then
Julian responds.
Hools pops in, and always talking about going like, what he'd like to do is
Sparring.
he talked about sparring, basically. And what he would do would be stripping trees of their long-legged little pieces of life. And he's like, I don't care if they were trying to grow, they're now mine. I will all beat people with them.
He would flail them about haphazardly.
Yes.
Going, I'm really good at flailing these wooden things.
Ah, perfect! And I will pretend they're objects of cutty-cut.
Of slicing.
Of slicey dice.
Do you see this arm of tree? It's now an object of slicing.
Mazelinka going, do you know how to use that thing? Of course! Pointy in goes into the other men.
Oh, God. Yes, pointy end goes away from you, yes. Then Mazelinka describes
Being so exasperated
that
by
him and his stick-waving experience was so bad.
terrible.
So terrible. Just
A nightmare.
A nightmare. So offensive that
Of course, she had to step in.
and teach him
The
which
right
side,
way.
which side was even the pointy end of his stick.
Honestly, he kept doing it the wrong way.
He kept having it both. And so she decided to take pity on him out of irritation for how bad form he had.
Yes.
Yes.
Bad form.
Go in to make it
And she's
better.
like, let me get my actual saber and let's show you how to smack some pants.
I bet her she gets out her spoon. She's like, if you can't beat my spoon with your stick, you will never be.
This is where the spoon came from.
You will never fight successfully.
Pretty much.
Ah,
And
he's
Hools is like, I am devastated at the bullshit you're speaking about me and mine. Was it? What, like, I need to know. Why would you say such slanderous bullshit? I thought it was awesome. Why?
Amazing.
Why?
He was so good at the learning, as good as a nerd who is a sponge.
Which Mazelinka has clearly been shitting on him, and he doesn't realize that basically she's now outing him of going, no, honey, you are made of crap.
You really aren't. We appreciate that your story is different than every other person's who ever tells it in your whole life.
It's fine.
All stories. Him.
Everyone.
Never. So anyway, she then continues that the only skill he had in all of his attempts to
Wasn't
fight
even a skill.
was how lengthy he was.
He was like a noodle.
All he had was his scarecrow arms and his scarecrow legs.
What he had was his aspirations to become Slender Man.
What he had was being very limmy.
Long.
She's very
La, la, la,
limmy.
la, la, la.
Long and limmy.
Long and limb.
You'll never be successful at anything unless you just kind of happen to get there first.
Oh, congratulations.
Nothing.
And you didn't even try for that one.
Yep, and then she specifies that was unequivocally his only attribute in this endeavor.
That was it.
All right. Well,
And
this
then
is sad.
Julian is so devastated. Oh, God. He collapses in a theatrical manner, clenching his butt cheek so hard. Going, oh, wow. Woe is me! I will never recover! I've been stabbed in the only heart I have! It's gone! It's in the blood!
His exaggeration is amazing. It's more dramatic than Wednesday Addams on stage.
Pretty much.
At the elementary school talent
Honestly,
show.
I love that. It was
so
good.
good.
Okay, so apparently, Tenny Sibling is
Hang
super
on.
entertained.
So
And try not to laugh
we have
really
one of
hard.
our classic discrepancies here.
Oh.
Where previously he had thrown himself down onto the sand, and now his sister comes and trips him in his position of already laying down.
Oh, I'm so excited! We've done it! We have the triple bogey!
So he's laying flat dramatically in the sand, and Portia comes over and knocks him off of his feet and into the wet place.
Into the splashy splash.
So basically what I'm getting is that she just put her foot against the side of him and rolled right into the water.
She's like, oh, this'll work great.
This is so good. I just push him into the water.
And he just rolls.
Just
That boy is
to
like
the
an eel.
sea.
He's just gone.
So yeah, so he just flails in there like a noodle, and it's great.
It's fantastic.
All right, so then Mazelinka continues that the younger sibling, the one who has just done the drenching,
The one that will never change in height ever again.
who is always small and is never
Forever
going
tiny.
to get bigger, would never be able to use the weapon of choice of the taller sibling.
Yes.
And so Mazelinka then sought out a different thing, which we sometimes, when it has better aim and stability,
A different
call
weapon.
a wrist rocket.
A wrist rocket?
Actually, yes.
Is that what they call them?
So this one is what she's mentioning, and then a wrist rocket is one that mounts on your wrist, so it's more stable, so you don't have to have a grip on it in the same way.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That would
Wrist rockets have an improved, aim and stability versus their Y-shaped counterparts that our Dennis the Menace friend uses.
Hey, that works.
Uh-huh. So I'm gonna say that a wrist rocket was
A
provided.
wrist rocket was provided.
There we go. And then...
You could do a
and
stone
after,
slinger.
another time. Now, you don't want to suggest that it's like an actual, sling.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because it's not. I like it's the Y.
It's a Y. It is. Tell me it's not a letter Y.
It's the
Also,
rubber band Y.
It's the rubber band Y. Also useful as a dowsing rod.
Which the Mormon Church loves to do in its spare time.
That's all right. So anyway, then Mazelinka declares that no person ever was free from harassment by the tiny demon with the wrist rockets.
Yes, brilliant.
All right. It was perfect.
It was excellent.
Ah!
And then
Pasha
of course
protests.
Pasha doth protest too much, complaining that her aim was impeccable. It was flawless.
That only ever
On an average of 85% of the time. 85 to 95.
That only ever did she achieve firing and not missing. Except for sometimes. And then she may have had a popsicle.
and then she passed out in the snow.
It's okay. Anyway, Mazelinka continues that people did in fact grow eventually. And then she conceded to putting them in her boat and telling him how the great sheets of black functioned.
Yes.
As well as the difference between a rudder and a helm.
And also the difference between port and aft.
Yes! Stern! I said stern!
Stern, what does that mean?
No, aft, child! It's reverse! Turn it the other way!
All right. And then, of course, Julian is completely freaking delighted because he tried to hang himself multiple times.
He's super
with
happy
the ropes, and he had a great time with it.
That he predicted his future with us.
Yes.
And in the square of Prakra. No, not Prakra. Where are we at? We're at in the city we're having this whole thing in.
Vesuvia?
Yes, in Vesuvia. He predicted his future in Vesuvia, and he practiced for the main event of the execution way up on the mast.
He was really, really into it. It was a great time. And then he got really intense, in the hangman's realm and went, I need to just up the ante. How do we put spikes on it?
You know what? Where all those ropes come from? You know why he's associated? Because of all the ropes on that damned boat. And he's like, yes, these are my people.
And he'd be like, yes! I don't know where our culture came from to basically develop that, but I feel a certain kinship. We just got it.
Him falling through all of the contraptions from the mast on down, getting completely ensnared in everything, hanging there and going,
This is the dragonfly.
This is ideal. This is my perfect life. I can't move, but I can swing in the wind.
Beautiful.
And then he figured out what hammocks were, and he was confused again. All right. So eventually, he did not have such troubles being tangled.
I
guessed. I was
you
wrong.
did guess.
Pasha confirms my statement.
Pasha was also exasperately like,
oh my God. It took him
It took you a while.
Long time.
To stop getting tied up so gleefully.
Everywhere, in everything. You just trip through the piles of the ropes and I'd find you looking like a cat in a ball of yarn, but with a ship rope.
And like really being as delighted as a cat.
All right.
And then, okay, so Portia's being like, we have a reference to the Princess Bride right here. Then that is going to be Grandmama. Because we have a lot to look up to.
Yep.
Because that's what's going to happen.
This
is a
surrogate Grandmama is basically the man in black.
This is the goalpost. This is Grandmama.
And that is who everyone wants to be.
Yep.
All right. So then the two siblings go back to splashing, making each other wet.
Yes.
They go back to playing in
the big
water.
The sparkly dip.
They go back to playing into the glittery ocean.
Yeah, they do.
And it's great. And there's, rays in the sky, except for they don't mention those, just floofing by going, oh, look, there's that person that thought we were dogs. Oh,
look at that dumbass.
I love him. Also going,
he's my favorite.
As far as I can tell, he's still in the water because she shoved him there. So
I know. I'm like, where is everybody?
So basically, she goes, you're still laid low in this wet stuff because I shoved you there and you basically couldn't stop laughing and choking and laughing again. And I'll just get you wetter now. It's fine.
Why not?
All right. Then our good storyteller kind of wraps
Has a
herself up
melancholic-
emotionally as she looks at them
Look at little
and looks
sentimental.
at the glorious, beautiful scenery in front of us and just gets
Takes
a
it
little
in.
bit, takes it in, sort of just comes to a pause.
And
Then
then-
describes that her dearest love would describe these two chillins as being her own personal explorers.
Swiss Family Robinsons.
Small explorers.
With colonialism and everything. And of course,
But that no matter what she thought back then, she could have never predicted right now.
yes.
Sure. Mazelinka does assume that if her dear love could perceive this moment, it would only be great excitement, except for saying, why don't all of you get the heck away from there?
Yeah.
Going too much adventure.
Yeah. Going,
Too
it's
much.
too dangerous. Let's
It
go.
is too much adventure, save the chibis.
Return.
However,
She
it would
also...
all work out. She would chill. It would be no problem because all of us are a team and a group, and that would be great.
It'd be okay.
So no, not the problem. She would protest and then give in.
Methinks she doth protest too much.
Also, her dear love would have been very fond of nerd.
Yeah.
It would have been great.
Because
We would
that's
have
our word, damn it.
Yep, that's our word of nerd. We
guess
would
I
have
know.
gotten along famously, she predicts. I, as nerd, am just
Feel the flutters.
surprised by this experience that anyone might ever like me, and that someone like Mazelinka would say so.
And then I slowly lift my lips up and show my teeth off.
There's an involuntary experience.
In my face.
Ah,
And it only requires, 6 muscles in the face? I have a 6-muscled facial
Experience.
technique that I have with Mazelinka.
that expresses joy
that expresses
or
glee.
pleasure. There it is. That is the line. We've
All right.
reached the end of the scene. Okay, so, looks like a storm's coming in. Hi, you two!
Bitches!
All right, guys, that was the scene. I hope you had fun. That was
Oh
kind
my
of amazing.
God. We have gotten back.
We're getting slightly better at this.
Yes.
Lightning flashes in its wake. Oh, listen to the thunder.
So good.
The sky looks like it's been literally cracked open. All right, well, we are going to find out about the sky cracking open
In the next
next one, my bros. That was
Yes.
actually a lot more bonus scene than we've had in a lot of them, honestly. That was
Yeah.
a bigger story.
I imagine it probably would have gone a lot faster if we hadn't read it, but that's
Or if we
kind of...
had read it,
Yeah.
I would say. But at the same time, we didn't add a whole lot. We just described around.
Yes.
So, generally, the tale of, yes!
Brilliant.
Waterlogged children. And
And also teaching them swordplay and whatever else. So that was interesting. I mean, and didn't sound really all that much
So I
different.
basically get the idea that the only reason that Julian is interested in being a pirate is because of who he has decided is Grandmama Mazelinka, who's really like, I should be an aunt more than a grandma. Honestly, I'd have had to be 12 when I had
Either
you.
that or I'm just stepmom. Like, what
Right,
the fuck?
exactly. I could just be, except that she didn't raise him.
It's
So
true.
not mom. So distant.
Yeah, Lalinka
She should be the
rated.
wine aunt.
Aye!
Wine
She'd be
aunt.
rum aunt.
Rum aunt,
She's
yes!
rum aunt! Alright, well, thank you very much, guys, though, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos if you're having a good time with us. Please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or our Patreon. Got the links in the description down below. And I have been Scandal.
And sharing our videos really does help. The series is starting to pick up a little bit of visibility again, but I know we lost a lot of our original audience when we had to restart, so if you know anyone who might like this and you feel comfortable pointing them our way, we would love that.
Yes.
And I have been Liz.
And it was great playing with you.
Bye!